Yeah. So I'm Rishabh. This is my teammate Cameron, and this is my other teammate Tony, and we are going over to our scenario 220 business presentation simulation thing. So this is an overview of how we were planning to go to the simulation, like what was supposed to happen and what happened. What was supposed to happen was like we were planning to follow the spreadsheet throughout the whole scenario, but like what happened was like we for like change the strategy according to the simulation. When we went into the simulation, our first plan was to take out the loan right away, like
Yeah.
for first day of the first year of the simulation, and like we had no lost sales target, but it didn't went that way because we had a lost sales of Edgar in the peak summer months because our main focus was on Ali. And
Yeah. Because like we would
yeah,
always struggle with Alley Cat. That was
yeah,
always our biggest issue. Is we'd have
mhm,
lost sales, and that's what would
yeah,
kill us, and we'd never get,
yeah.
you know,
And from our previous simulation, we learned that we should never run out of Edgar because was the only thing which was keep messing us up throughout the whole simulation in the previous things. And we was also planned to rise the prices when the inventory gets very low to avoid lost sales or vice
Mhm.
versa. And this was the expected EBT we had throughout the simulation at the end. But what happened was we got almost like around 300 grand, earned more than 50% than we had expected. And we had some lost sales on Ali, but it was that not that much. It was due to the winter seasons, and we decided to increase the prices throughout the summer. But when we had too much inventory for Ali, we decreased the price from $16 to 14.50 and then 14.25 because we had over 10K per inventory for Ali.
So we should have
Yeah,
decreased the price more because we
yeah,
still, even though we did decrease the price a little bit, we
yeah.
still had a ton in inventory. So
Hmm.
Um,
And
I wanted to add that when it comes to managing our inventory, um, a thing that really helped us was, or sorry, the most lost sales we really had wasn't even in Alley. I think we managed Alley well. For the most part, it was
mhm,
later in the year with Taj.
yeah,
yeah,
So
yeah, and
the
I'll
fact
show
that we
that
could have
inventory
been,
chart next slide. I'll talk about that.
yeah.
yes.
But yeah.
And for the summer months, were planning on we planned to do four Ali, one Taj, or one Edgar, according to our situation on which we were running low. But eventually, while going into October, September, October, we did like three Ali, one Taj, one Edgar. But like as the demand for Ali dropped, we completely
Yeah, we
abandoned Ali
yeah.
and just went with two Taj, two Edgar, two Taj, two Edgar, and we didn't even use a fifth for fermenter for like the last 3 months.
Mhm.
And we
If
had
only we could
access
sell them.
inventory for Taj and Edgar in the ending months due to a lab cost. We didn't manage to set the prices that much, but it didn't affect us that much because we kept the prices almost the same for it. And as demand for Ali decreased due to the winter change, we increased in our production, our demand for Taj and Edgar to in the last few months.
Mhm.
So I think it went very well.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our actual chart of our inventory throughout the entire year. And there's a few things I want to note about this is, first of all, I think we did really good with Ali, like you said, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
We did have a little bit of lost sales, but I mean, that's like the peak season, it's super high demand.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And maybe if we increase the price a little bit, maybe we could prevent that a little bit. But I think the biggest killer, I mean, even though we did well, the biggest killer was we, lost sales with Taj and Edgar, which was over
Yeah,
here
but I
later
think
in
we
the year.
did for Edgar, it didn't affect us that much, but
Mhm.
where it affected us the most was the lost sales for Taj,
Yeah.
because
For sure,
Taj
yeah.
is one of our premium product too, and a loss of sales in a premium product is a loss for the company too.
Yeah, and then at the end of the year, you can see that's the orange line for Edgar and the tan line for Taj. We had just a ton of inventory for it. So like if we just sit there and fine tune the price more, like lower the price so we don't have so much inventory, I think that'll help us even more and create more profit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest takeaways I think, in my opinion, from the inventory chart here. And then this just shows the total quantity sold per ale. So obviously we have almost 50% of alley just because it has such a high demand in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other half is split between the other two. And then I have three of these charts. Each one is for the different ales. This is for Taj. And it just shows how our actual production pretty similarly like follows the actual plan we had. It
Mm-hmm.
changed a little bit because the forecasted plan is not going to be the same as what actually happens.
Yeah.
So if I go through these, like this is for Edgar, it follows it kind of rough, a little roughly, but not, I mean, pretty closely. In the summer here, we did stop producing it just because we had a ton in inventory. So
Yeah.
that was like the one difference between our plan and the actual production.
That's also because we produced, I guess, two production batches for Edgar in the starting 3 months.
Yeah, so we had a
We
lot of it.
didn't had like that much worry. We shouldn't worry about Edgar going into the summer months.
Yeah. And then this is the
Right, for sure.
same kind of graph, but for Alley, and it follows it pretty closely. And then you can see, at the end of the year, it drops off to zero. The production is for zero because we had so much of it in inventory.
Yeah.
So
But I think it went pretty good during May, June, July over here.
yeah. Yep. Okay. And then Tony, do you
Well,
want to hit on this a little bit?
yes, for sure. Well, our opinions, as stated, don't follow the planning spreadsheets 100%. A big thing about the spreadsheets is that it's a good estimation and it gives us a good idea of where we should go with our numbers, but you
Mhm.
can never really predict demand.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very important thing that the simulation carries on. So for instinct, like I think the spreadsheets do a good job of teaching us how to look and how to where to change what we need to when we have to instead of completely predicting it. So yeah, don't follow the planning spreadsheets to a 100% to a T. Fine tuning prices will help further increase total EBT, which is what I just mentioned, and our plan for production works well, and we shouldn't have to change it.
Yep. And another thing I kind of want to add is for the first point that don't follow the spreadsheet 100%. I feel like that's so true as the year progresses. Like especially like at the end of the year, the spreadsheet isn't really filed as much just because so much has happened and it has changed. That I don't know. That's just what that's what I kind of think.
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
Yeah. All right.
What can be learned? For the most part, just fine tuning. Like we've gotten to a point where, like you said, like there wasn't much we could have done with Ali. Like there is a little bit of a margin that we could have picked up on, but so be it. For the most part, I think we just got to take care of Taj better. Don't worry about Edgar going into the summer. Start picking it up later in the year. Our plan of production orders in the summers works. Borrowing money and buying the fifth fermenter immediately also definitely works. And no sales is key.
Yeah.
No lost sales,
Uh,
sorry. No sales is crazy. No lost
And
sales is key.
also, one thing going into the simulation, like, well, it was really dumb. Like, in the first two simulation, we were thinking, when we went to our spreadsheet, we were thinking, to the production unit, we were thinking that much amount of production should be produced. But
Mhm.
like later on, we realized, okay, that is the final amount we should have by the end.
Mhm.
And that really helped us in 220 because we really didn't. We realized like, oh, this was the ending amount we should have during the end months. And we were like, before the that two twice simulation, we were like, oh, this is the amount of we number of production we have to produce. And I think that was also a key part where it helped us to get our EPD higher than rest of the class, like
Yeah.
earlier, and it helped us to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. So overall, I think just to like summarize it, is our plan for production works. borrowing the money and getting the fermenter, the fifth one right away works. And then what we need to improve on, like the biggest thing is to just fine tune the prices, keep the inventory levels as low as possible without having lost sales is, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. So
Another
is
thing
there
I
anything
want to
else?
mention, another thing I wanted to mention before we
Yeah.
end is that us as a group, I think what makes us credible in a sense is that at the beginning of the simulations, we went from one of the bottom groups, and as the simulations have gotten harder and increased in just overall aspects, we ended up being the first group. So
Yeah.
it's important that we've learned from what we've
Just
mistaked.
learning from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Is there anything else?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
All right. I think that's it.
Sounds good to
Awesome.
me.
Yep.
Yeah.